Mason, okay, so do you have your EdScratch and your cable ready? Just show them. Awesome. Okay, actually, okay, so just can you recall and remind me what we did last week?
Because of the class size is small, you can unmute yourself, yeah, and then chat and then mute back. So we don't. Yes, Mohit, you can talk, and then after that you can mute.
Okay, awesome. So, so what we're gonna.
So
Yep. Okay.
what?
People coming in the room with Liam. I think I think we'll probably wait for 2 more people. Yeah, because we don't have too much content today. We need to pretty much go over what we did last week. Do you remember what we did last week?
So what we did, I think what we did last week is so basically we did, for example, we did stuff with lights and sounds, and also like when object is detected, like for example, go backwards and turn 90 degrees, and that.
Okay, that's good. That's good. And we also did loops as well. I think last week or the week before we did loops as well. And we used a lot of if conditions and conditional statements as well. So we're going to do something simple just to wrap up the EdScratch before we switch to EdPython, which will be more complicated. Liam, do you have your Edison robot and your cable as well? Do you have this? Yep, perfect, awesome. Okay, I'll wait for 1 more minute and we'll get started. We'll probably try to finish off the class early, like around 6:55. Around 6:55, so we can, yeah, just have a good midterm, and then we recommence. Just wait for one more minute. Is everything all good? Okay, we'll just commence. We'll just commence anyways. Okay, so we have, we pretty much did a lot of stuff throughout the term, just to give you some fundamentals. We just did some movements with the EdScratch. We did lights, we did sounds, we did sensing your surroundings. We did if conditional statements, we did loops. We can choose how many times each program is run. We made squares, we made Edison robot move, turn, yeah, just do pretty much a lot of different things. So what we're going to do is just do something slightly more advanced, just to prepare you for EdPy. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. Can everyone go to the EdScratch website whilst I just get my screen ready? So I'm just going to EdScratch. Okay, I'm just gonna set this up. Give me a sec. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to pretty much use numbers, a lot of random numbers and stuff. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to share my screen. Okay, so let me find my screen thing to share. Okay, can everyone see my screen? Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start playing around with numbers, okay? So just to make this interesting, let's just move this here. I'll just take this, just zoom out. We have all of this stuff here. What we're gonna do is we can always like put numbers and stuff here, 9 degrees, or we can make it 360 degrees and stuff. What we're gonna do is maybe now insert random numbers. Let's just try this here. Not sure why it's not being connected. So maybe what we can do is we're going to try. What we're going to do is we're going to try pretty much. We're going to get the repeat block here. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to try to maybe add random numbers. Okay, so this should work now. So as we probably can see, that if we use this operator here, it will not work. It has to be a specific value. However, we can just pretty much produce like a random conditional statement stuff. We can pretty much, let's just maybe try to establish a connection where we can spin like a particular number of times. So we can make it spin, maybe spin left, and then we can make it, we can make it spin left. How many numbers of times? So pretty much this will allow us to pretty much give a random number between 1 and 10. So it's just to introduce some variability, some different things into our program. So can you all just pretty much just set up your Edison robot, and then we'll just try it out ourselves. We can count how many times the actual program runs, this actual pattern, and then we can just give us a number. Every time you run, it should provide us a different number. So at this stage, you should know how to program it. Okay, so now, if you can see, it's going to spin between 0 to 1 and 10 times. So let's just count. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. It pretty much counts 4 times. So the first time it's 4 times. Let's see how many times it runs this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. So it runs 7 times. So I'll just give you all probably 1 minute to get this working.
Down. Up.
Who wants to demonstrate? Actually, who wants to tell me how many times the Edison robot's like turned? It'd be very fast, but who wants to just give it a shot? Okay, Mohit, do you want to just run it and just tell me how many times it spins every time it turns? So I think you're breaking up. How many times did your thing spin?
Okay, so
It's a bit fast, so it's hard to tell. You can just guess.
yeah, sure. This one is about 3,
Really?
4.
Okay.
Now it's about 10 turns.
Good. So it pretty much spins very randomly. Okay. So what we can do is maybe we can also add some more things. Maybe what we can do is we can maybe add some amount of times. We can wait. So we can, instead of like here, we can add a particular second, but maybe we can just say, let's just make things more interesting. Just see why it's not connecting here for some reason. Yeah, that's right. Okay. So I see now. So the reason why it's not working, this is a particular value here. If you see like a number here, then you can't add some stuff, I believe. Oh, you can. Well, if you see this blank thing here, right? You can add like operators here. So maybe we could say instead of like 5 seconds, we can just say 3 plus 2. You'll make it like, or maybe make it for 3 seconds. We just do 1 plus 2. You make it wait like for 3 seconds, so you can do some extra math as well, you know. So let's just connect this and just try running this IIN. Okay, so now let's see it spin, and then you can wait for 3 seconds. So you'll spin. Oh, sorry, it's in milliseconds. Okay, so we want to basically what we can do now is, because a millisecond is pretty small. So if you want to convert a millisecond to a second, what you do is give the option to times it by 1,000. So 1 second equals to 1,000 milliseconds. So if we add this here, what we'll do, it will become 3 seconds. Instead of 3 milliseconds, it'll be 3 seconds. So we'll pretty much run a lot longer. So I'm just going to set this up here. So just for some reason it's not connecting. Just leave this here. Yep, okay, should be connected inside. Okay, so I'm gonna open the program Edison. Okay, so what we're gonna run this. It should be 3 seconds now. So here, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so it pretty much like turned 3 times, okay? So I'll give you a challenge. So maybe now what I want you to do is to make it run for like, make it run and it will turn only once every 2 seconds and make it run between 1 and 5 times. I'll give you 5 minutes to get it done. So I'll just put some comments, your task here. Your task is make it run randomly up to 5 times, and I'll also add another task here. Make it run for 3 seconds. So for seconds only, and then what I'll do is to make it spin completely to the right, and then what I'll do is pretty much I'll add a task here. Make it beep every time. Make it beep every time you like place an obstacle in front. And what I'll do here as well is pretty much add a block here in order for the and a block here in order for the what's it called, for the Edison robot to in order for the Edison robot to detect obstacles. Yeah, I'll probably give you, yeah, probably like 5. Well, I'll give you 10 minutes. This is just trying to like combine everything we've learned this term. So I'll be back. So I just saw the question. Okay. What is the second? Okay, I think you saw a message me. Okay. So okay. This is okay. So this is a bunch of tasks. You just have to add blocks accordingly to make things to like you see the comments here. Just add like whatever blocks below to make it work. So for example, I'll just give you an example thing to do. Here, say make it dry for 2 centimeters at speed 5. What you do is I'll just make it more specific. Maybe drive forward for 2 centimeters. Then what I'll do is add this here. Make it drive for 2 centimeters at speed 5. You don't have to actually add the comment, but I'm just giving you some tasks. And this one here, okay, so the second green block, okay, so I'll just give you an example. So this is 2 green blocks here. So so this is a plus, and this is so basically you can say it's 2 times, actually say 3 times 4, but instead of saying 3 times 4, you can say 1 plus 2, which is equals to 3, which is times 4. So I would just say, wait, I'm just going to do 3 times 4. These two are the exact same things. Does it make sense? So you can pretty much add stuff out here. These things are pretty much the same. Does it make sense? Okay, Winston, what happened to the turn on off? Yeah, so that's why I'm saying like you need to add that. You need to add that here. This is just some, yeah, so you need to add something here. So there's some like tasks. You just have to add here to make things work. So these are some of the tasks I gave you. Does it make sense? Okay. I'll just be back. I'll be on for a bit. I'll be back in like a minute or two. I'll to answer any more questions. Just have a shot at this, and I'll be back. Okay, how's everyone doing? We'll give you 5 more minutes, and then after 5 minutes, we'll just go through the solutions. Okay, what are you confused about? Do you have any questions?
Yeah, I'm confused about the comments and also
Okay,
yeah, the green box.
okay, it's a green box. Okay, I'll just explain the green box one more time. Okay, so
Yeah,
let's say again. So, do you remember how? Do you remember how we did? Okay, do you remember how it turned for 3 seconds, right? Do you know how there was a
Yeah.
wait for 3 seconds? Okay. Do you okay? First, do you agree this is 1 + 2 = 3, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What's 3 + 1? What's 3 ×
Yeah.
1,000? What's
What?
3 × 1,000? What's 3 × 1,000?
3,000.
Exactly. So 3,000 milliseconds equals to 3 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty much here.
Uh,
Does it make sense? Does it make more
okay,
sense?
how about for the comment?
Comments. Okay. You see how comments here. So like imagine
Yeah.
the comments, but so for example, you see comments here. Just it asks you to drive for 2 centimeters, speed 5. You just find the block, which is 5 for you have this block here, and you drive for 2 centimeters. Does it make sense? So you just ignore the block. If you okay,
Yeah, but
okay, so you just pretty much replace it. Okay, it tells you what to do.
like oh, yeah, but I still don't know what it's useful for if we just like didn't we just like put 2 times? I mean, like we comment says make it drive forwards for 2 centimeters.
Oh, it
It
just
says
adds notes. It just adds notes. For example, I just say to do. It just pretty much what it does is it adds notes for other people looking at your code. So if other people want to look at your code, if other people are looking at your code, like if you say send this file, if you ask your friend, if you ask your friend like to read this code, these comments will make more sense. So I'll just do another example with comments here. You can say like, oh,
so
this EdScratch program, this EdScratch program is just an example of how to use maths operators and comments. Does it make sense?
comments in our coding.
Yeah.
Like if
So you're breaking up. If you want, can you
Yeah.
can you just type in the chat so I can answer your question? Because you're just breaking up for a second.
okay, I'm good now.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. Okay, I'll give you 1 more minute, and then I will ask everyone how to do each part. Oh, you don't have to do the comments. You don't have to do the comments. You don't have to do the comments now. Just instead of comments, like just replace the comments with whatever I asked you to do. So for example, here, you can take these comments out and put it here. Or you can just put it below. Does it make sense? Okay, actually, since of the confusion, I'll give you 5 more minutes. I'll just put this here, make it. Make it bigger. Actually, no, I'm just gonna quickly adjust this here so that everyone can see. Okay, so that should be almost 6:35. What we'll do is we're gonna just quickly go over the code, the block, just let you know what we have to do. Okay, so just give it like a few more, maybe 30 more seconds until it reaches 6:35. This is full screen. Yep. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly go over the answers. But if you need, I'm just going to unmute everyone, and then you can just shout it out what to do. Yeah. Okay, so everyone, okay, so what do you do to add, to make it able to detect the obstacle beams? What do I need to add?
Excuse me, what was that?
This one, right?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. Yep. Good. How do I add this to make it run up to 5 times? What do I do?
Very well.
Say again?
Hello?
Yep, I can hear you. Okay, what do I do to make this run up to 5 times? Right now it's only 10 times. Okay, let's just see the chat. Okay. Can everyone hear me? Is there any issues hearing me? Okay. Well, can everyone else hear me though? Yes? Can everyone hear me? Okay, I'm just gonna switch my headphones. Okay. Can everyone hear me now? Hello? Okay. Well, hopefully it's much better. So I'm just going to just quickly go over this just to save time. Here, you just change from 10 to 5 to make it spin completely to the right. What we'll do is I'm just going to just move this out here. I am going to, what we're going to do, it is make it spin right. Let's make it spin right, completely to the right. So you put it 360 degrees and then make it wait for 2 seconds. You can do 0 plus 2, or you can just take this out here, just do 2. And then make it, yeah, you pretty much done this already. Any obstacles detected, what you do is pretty much, just add this sound, a beep. So this should get it to work. So I'm just going to program Edison. Yeah, and now let's just try running this. Okay, so what it should do is pretty much spin like completely for 5 seconds of a few times, and it will drive forward for 2 seconds. Okay, so what we're gonna do is try running this. It's gonna spin a few times, 1, 2, and then it's pretty much only spin once, 2, yeah, and then it ran 2 times. There's a big the obstacle. It makes a sound. Okay, so yep, okay, I can hear some of you having it getting to work. Okay, we'll probably move on, but okay, wait, just fixing my headphones. Okay, so you pretty much have the gist of it now. So what we're gonna do is if you want to look at this again, you can watch the video. But we're gonna start from scratch. We're gonna do a different program now because we have a bit to cover before we finish off this class. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna do some variables. I'm just trying to keep it very simple, short and simple. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new variable. Just go to data here, and then we can just do something called a loop count. So we're going to create this variable here and we exit. Okay. So we have this variable here. What we're going to do is we're going to set this into, we're going to set this here. We're going to set loop count to 1. Just going to quickly sort this thing out. Some issue, not sure what the issue is. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to pretty much allow this to run. So every time, like, yeah, every time it's just going to um, run this probably 10 times. Every time we run this, we're going to repeat. Maybe let's just have a condition. Repeat until loop count. Say until loop count. Well, maybe when loop count is greater than what's it called? Maybe until loop count is probably greater than 10. So here, every time it's gonna beep. We're gonna do a beep here, and every time we do this, we will increase the loop count by 1. So we're gonna be like, you'll beep once, twice, you'll be beep, like pretty much every time you beep. So what we'll do is you'll beep, and then increase loop count to 2, increase up to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then when it reaches 11, it will check if 11 is greater than 10. And then when it's greater than 10, it will pretty much stop the program. So maybe I'll just say, make the Edison robot just spin around for 360 degrees. Here, I'll just try to run it on my end, and then you can try demonstrating on your end as well. So let's just set this up. So now, should do is, I'm just going to quickly set this up. Spin around 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, ooh, yeah. So it will spin around 10 or 11 times or something. When it reaches a number greater than 10, it will spin around. Otherwise, try doing 5, and let's do the same thing again. You like count 5 times. Maybe we can add like a weight. We'll get some delay, and then you like maybe count only 5 times, and then it will spin. So yeah, I'll just quickly demonstrate this one more time on a different number, and then we can start doing the demonstration. Okay, so now you'll spin probably, and then you drive 5 times, and you move forward. No, sorry, you beat 5 times, it will spin around. That's the one. 2, 3, 4, 5, and it will spin around. So it will beat 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it will spin around. Okay. Okay, I'll give you a few minutes to demonstrate this. Loop count, so it's a variable, so we can change. So loop count is pretty much a variable. You can assign a variable, a value to something, so it's something constant. So if we can just say age, if we have an age or something like that, we can set an age to we can set an age maybe like 10. I'm just gonna move this out here. Let's just change this to age, and then pretty much, let's say when you're 16, it'll beep until, so basically when you're 16 you can drive, so pretty much beep, and then you can, I'll just make it more realistic. Maybe we can do 10 centimeters and stuff. So like right now, just say your age is 10, you beep until you're greater than 16, and then after you're greater than 16 you can drive. So let's just try running this. Now you pretty much beep 1, 2, is it 13, 14, 15, 16, and then after so it will pretty much 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So my mouse is being weird. It doesn't make sense. Okay. So pretty much you just, it's some variable names, so you assign a particular number. You just assign a particular number. So this, a variable is pretty much allows you to assign a particular number to a variable, which you can use over and over again. Does it make sense? So yeah, so you can set your age to just say, okay, let's just see. Okay, I'll probably find, if it doesn't make sense, I'll try to find another example of what a variable is. If you don't understand what a variable is, don't worry too much. We'll go into more detail in EdPy next week, where we'll use variable regularly. This is just Scratch. This is just very basic. When we go to EdPy, at Python, we'll use more we'll use variables more often. It will make more sense. So if you don't get it now, that's fine. Just pretty much what we'll do is you assign a value, and then you pretty much increment. This will become 11, and then you increment again. It will be 12, and then it will be 13, 14, and then 15. So maybe let's just maybe use another means to explain, just to make it more sense. So what we can do is, I'm just quickly looking this up here. What we can do is another way of doing increment. Increment is the same. This is where we use the operators. We can set age to age plus 1. So pretty much do the same thing. So every time you finish this, it's going to increase. And then I'm just going to maybe add a comment. You are over 16. You are old enough to drive. Let's try that. Okay. So what we're going to do now is here. Okay, so what we're gonna do is just show this one more time. So we get 10, we want 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and then you can drive. So yeah. Can everyone hear me? Okay, I'm just gonna connect my headphones again. So yeah,
Um, so maybe if we add, okay, so probably the last thing we'll cover today, just some of the surface level stuff before we go to EdPy is pretty much we're gonna just this is gonna be like a recurring thing, a variables. We will use that in EdPy. It'll be more freedom, it'll be much more flexible compared to EdScratch. So just hang in there. We'll do more complicated stuff and more fun stuff next week. So just say if we want to times this by 10, is gonna be 160. It's gonna take forever. So let's just do this here. If we do 16 times by 10, it's gonna be 160. It's gonna take like it's gonna take us like forever to reach that stage. So actually, let's just do this to um, maybe 10 times 10 would be 100. So it'll be 100. We're trying to go to 160. Let's just try programming this.
okay. So what is this gonna do? It's gonna just keep going forever. So it'll be 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106. Pretty much, it's gonna run pretty much forever. It's gonna run pretty much long term because the thing is, it keeps increasing. Sorry, just get my mouse. Increasing by 1. But if we change it by 10, or if we can do, just say, if we can just say, do say 1 times by 10, you make it like 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150, 160, which is 170, which is bigger than 16 times by 10, which is 170, and then it will pretty much allow it to run much faster. If you don't get this, that's
We'll go in more depth in using a different technique in EdPy. So what we're going to do is just program this again.
just right. Let me just okay, wait. Just let me program this one more time. Okay, so what we do is pretty much 2, 3, 4, oh, sorry, 16. So I'll just do this demonstration again. It starts at 100. You increase by 10 every time until you get to 160, over 160. After it reaches over 160, you pretty much be able to drive. So let's try this again. So it's 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150, 160, 170, which is bigger than this. It will end this loop and it will drive. So yeah, if you don't understand this, just watch the video again and then please don't hesitate to ask next class. We will do Python, will be more complicated. But it'll be more interesting. We'll use this more often, and then we'll understand the true power of variables. And we'll reach 8 Python next week. So yeah, hope this at least mostly answered. We'll go in more detail next week to explain more. So yeah, so this is the last week of using Scratch. We'll do something more complicated with Python. Once you do something more complicated, you have a chance to pretty much understand how all of this works. and how this is useful. So yeah, I will probably leave class early today, and we can go have a longer class next week. We do Python. So yeah.
All right. Thank you, Peter. Today, Peter have to leave a little bit early. So can everyone unmute to say goodbye to Peter?
Bye, Peter.
See ya.
Bye.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Thank you. I see you next week. Okay.
Yeah.